Getting a full-time job that is going to pay you enough to live the way you want to live is not an easy task, especially in my country, but you don't need a full-time job if you learn and become a successful freelancer. Hi there, my name is Sadiq Umar. I am a full-time freelancer living in Nigeria, and this video is going to be based on my personal experience of starting freelancing and becoming a full-time freelancer. In this video, we are going to talk about the benefit of starting freelancing over getting a full-time job, and we are going to talk about some of the challenges that you will face as a new freelancer, and more importantly, we are going to talk about how you can start freelancing and become a successful freelancer. Okay, let's talk about the benefit of freelancing over getting a full-time job. One of the major benefits of freelancing is the earning potential. If you become a successful freelancer, the amount of money that you can make is going to be very hard to find one single company that can afford to pay you what freelancing can pay you. And another major benefit of freelancing is freedom. You have the freedom to choose what you do, to choose the type of work that you do. You can choose the client you work with, and you can choose how many hours you work every single day. Another major benefit of freelancing is flexibility. As a freelancer, you have the opportunity, you have the flexibility to choose when you work, where you work, and how you work. You can work only in the morning, you can work only in the evenings, you can work specific hours in a day, and you can work from anywhere wearing anything in the world. You can work wearing shorts and a t-shirt. So that is just as the three major benefits of freelancing over getting a full-time job: earning potential, freedom, and flexibility. Now, let's talk about some of the challenges that you will face as a new freelancer when you are just starting your freelancing career. One of the major challenges is finding your very first client. Finding your first client is the hardest part. When you find your first client, it is going to be a little bit easier to find your second client, and it is going to be easier to find your third client. So finding your very first client is the biggest challenge in starting freelancing. And another challenge is when you just start your freelancing career, you haven't completed any job previously, so you have nothing to show to potential client that you can do this for them. Because generally when you start conversation with potential client, they are going to ask to see a sample of your work. And if you are a complete beginner to freelancing, you haven't completed any previous jobs, then that is going to be a challenge. You have nothing to show to potential client. Okay, another major challenge that you might face is when you are just starting out as a complete beginner, especially if you are in Nigeria, some clients are going to feel a little uncomfortable with trusting you with some level of access to their software, to their business. So that is why choosing the right service is important, because if you choose to offer something like project management, then you cannot work without getting access to your client project management software. And as a complete beginner to freelancing, some clients will feel uncomfortable with sharing access to their project management software. When I started my freelancing career, I started as a freelance web developer, and so I need access to either WordPress dashboard of my client or sometimes their website hosting control panel, and that was a big challenge. So that is why choosing the right service when you are just starting your freelancing career is very important. Now let's start with the most important part, which is how can you start freelancing as a complete beginner and become a successful freelancer. Okay, the very first thing is make sure you have the working tools. What do you need in order to start freelancing? You need a computer and access to internet. If you have a computer and you have access to internet, you have everything you need to start freelancing. And then the very next thing is you choose a service that you are going to start offering as a freelancer. There are hundreds of services that you can choose from and start offering as a freelancer, but the service you choose is going to depend on yourself, on the skills that you already have and your learning capability. For example, if you choose to become web developer and you know nothing about web development, then it is going to take you a whole lot of time before you learn web development, before you learn at least a decent level of skill to deliver at least a decent level of service in web development. So choosing a right service is very important. And if you choose a wrong service, it might take you even longer to find your very first client. I recently did a video where I shared 5 top skills that are suitable for new freelancers. I'm going to put a link to that video in the description of this video, so you can watch that video. It will help you choose the right services that you can start offering as a new freelancer. Okay, the next step is when you choose the service that you want to start offering is learn. Learn and develop a decent level of skill in whatever service it is. If you already have the skills to start offering, just do a little bit of research and expand your knowledge on it. If you don't have the skills needed, then learn. learn whatever you need to learn to start offering as a freelancer. You can go to YouTube. Now, almost anything you want to learn, you can learn for free on YouTube. I learned 90% of the skills that I have on YouTube. So you can just go to YouTube. If you want to become a video editor, pick a video editing software, learn how to use a video editing software, learn as much as you can on whatever you want to start offering before you start even contacting clients. When you have at least a decent level of skill in whatever it is, then you can start finding clients. I also recently did a video where I shared how you can learn any freelancing skill that you want to learn fast. I'm going to put a link to that video also in the description of this video. Okay, when you choose the skill that you want to start offering, you learn the skills. The next thing is to create your freelancer profile on a freelancing platform. There are 3 major freelancing platforms. There are Upwork, Fiverr, and Freelancer.com. You can choose one, or you can try all of them and see the one that you like the most. I personally recommend you start with Upwork. If you choose to go with Upwork, I have a tutorial on how you can create your freelancer profile on Upwork. I'm going to put a link to that tutorial in the description of this video, so you can watch that tutorial and learn how you can create your freelancer profile on Upwork. Your freelancer profile on Upwork or Fiverr or Freelancer.com can serve as your portfolio. So look at it as your portfolio. Your portfolio is your storefront, right? It's what your potential clients are going to look at to evaluate your skills to determine whether they want to work with you or not. Generally, your portfolio should have your picture, your name, the description of the services that you are offering, and sample project, the project that you have previously completed for client. And when you are just starting out, you haven't completed any project for client, so that might be a challenge. And what you should do is, you should just create project as if a client hire you to do the job for them and include it in your portfolio. If you choose to become a graphic designer, create some sample graphics. If you choose to become content writer, write some content. Whatever you choose to become, create project as if a client hire you to do the work for them and include it in your portfolio. Because a portfolio with sample project is going to be a whole lot more effective than a portfolio with no sample project. Okay, when you create your freelancer profile on a freelancing platform, the next thing is learn how to write a winning proposal. Proposal is what you send to potential client when they posted a project, when they posted a job looking for freelancers. And you can call it a cover letter. I think that is what they call it on Upwork. So learn how to write a winning one, because your proposal is your first line of communication between you and your potential client. Your proposal is what will invite your potential client to contact you. It's what will even get them interested to check out your profile. So learn how to write a winning proposal that can start a conversation between you and your potential client. Okay, the next thing is learn how to apply for jobs the right way. If you don't know how to apply for jobs the right way, it doesn't matter if you send 100 proposals to 100 clients, you are not going to get the job. So learn how to apply for jobs the right way. A few things to help you with that is, make sure before you send your proposal to any project, you read the job requirement carefully and you understand the job. You understand the job requirement. Some clients will indicate that they are looking for a freelancer who speaks more than one language. And if you speak only one language, then you just wasted your time. Some clients will also indicate that they are looking for a freelancer in certain countries, and if you are not living in that country, then you wasted your time. And some clients will also indicate whether they are looking for a beginner freelancer or intermediate freelancer or expert freelancer. You as a complete beginner, if you send your proposal to a client who is looking for an expert freelancer, then you probably just wasted your time. So learn how to apply for jobs the right way. I also have a video where I share a complete guide on how you can apply for jobs the right way, which will increase your chances of getting your very first client fast. I'm going to put a link to that video in the description of this video, so you can watch that video and learn how to apply for jobs the right way. Okay, when you follow all the steps, you learn, you implement things, you find your very first client, then you take a seat, you analyze the process that you followed to find your first client, and you repeat the process to find your second client. When you find your second client, you repeat the process to find your very third client. The most important thing to remember is you have to keep learning in order to succeed in freelancing. You have to keep learning and keep developing your skills. As a freelancer, you are going to come across things that you don't know how to do on a continuous basis. So learn how to use YouTube. Be comfortable with going to YouTube to learn whatever you don't know how to use. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next video.